Welcome back to the part two. We had a fantastic part one, and we have 50% to go. The next question is uh, we are hearing about Sanskrit. Are we talking about making it compulsory as part of three language educational system? Because I think there is kind of a myth or a lot of misinterpretation of this. Your perspective, sir?
Well, not at all. I don't think any language is being made compulsory in the national policy of education, and more so Sanskrit. The focus is more on the mother tongue, number one. And the three language formula in 1968 and adopted subsequently talked about the study of three languages by the learners. Number one, mother tongue. Number one, second, two, either the state language apart from the mother tongue or any other Indian language. And the third language had to be Hindi, or rather, out of the three languages, one had to be Hindi. So many students opted for mother tongue and English medium and Hindi at the point of time. But into the recent policy, there is a slight modification which doesn't even mention about Hindi, right? Which talks about any three languages, one mother tongue and two Indian languages only it talks about. And when it comes to Sanskrit, a very interesting thing, Sanskrit at one point of time was considered as a classical language. But subsequently in 1988, through the Supreme Court ruling, it was pointed out that it is as modern as any other language, and therefore it enjoys the status of a modern Indian language. And therefore students have an option to take Sanskrit also, either as a classical language or as a modern language at the point of time. Therefore, the policy talks of enriching Sanskrit and making it reach people, those who want to look into the culture and the richness of the language in terms of its, yesterday year's knowledge. Therefore, they are planning for, enriching Sanskrit and making it accessible to people. Nothing more, right from what you call school level to the collegiate level. And I don't think that is that's only an option, and therefore there's no question of it being made a compulsory language. The policy never says.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. The next question is in the para 11, I think there is lots of mention about model multidisciplinary colleges and large multidisciplinary colleges. And there are also mention about 64 arts, 64 கலைகள். What is it actually suggesting? Are we planning to create IIT equivalent for humanities, hotel, hospitality?
Why not? The question basically is, imagine today students who have done an IIT and subsequently they have done MBA from IIM or a foreign university, coming and starting kind of chain restaurants, right? Starting businesses which are in food industry and several others. That really shows that that what they learn even in IIT, the skills required for being innovative and creative and all that. Therefore, that kind of a skill could be anywhere, whether it can be in humanities, it could be literature, it could be music, arts, whatnot. So the objective of education is only to pursue the pursuit of excellence, right? And therefore, it does not matter in which subject you have the discipline you have the excellence, but facilitation to pursue excellence in all kinds of fields is very much important. And that's exactly what the policy talks about. Number one, but when it talks about the languages, it says every Indian language has to be nurtured and enriched. When it talks about folk games and it talks about folk cultures, that talks about enrichment. Because as India, we are diverse and therefore we cannot be choosing. We need to nurture the diversity of the country. We need to acknowledge the competencies of people, either in dance or in textiles or anything. And therefore, the policy talks about the opportunities in the diverse fields and enriching and pursuit of excellence in that. That's all.
Okay. Thank you, sir. In fact, I think seeing the kind of success and the demand for IIT, having that kind of an institute in every field would be fantastic for India and the future generation. Okay.
See, IIT basically is a concept, right? Yeah. What has happened in this country is that we all of us look into institutions as architectures and structures. But when you talk of London School of Economics, Harvard School of Business, It is not the structure. It is the idea, the concept that people have. Similarly, school is the concept, right? And that is a paradigm shift we need to move. And I think the policy facilitates this mobility of, thought directions.
Looking forward 10 years down the line, what's going to change? That would be brilliant. The next question is, I think there is lots of emphasis on online and digital education. And with the pandemic happening, I think we have already embraced this as part of our life. But how will online education reach rural India and government schools when we already have challenges around connectivity, internet, and devices? Of course, I'm seeing televisions telecasting digital classrooms, but how do you see, what is your perspective on this aspect?
How did mobile phones reach villages?
Mm.
You know, it's because when people have an appetite for something, automatically the consumerist tendencies start working. And that's true in terms of what is called online education also, right? I still remember the idea of online education from 1974 when the Doordarshan came into play and they started a channel called Educational Television, ETV. And then that used to be telecast for 1 hour every alternate days. And I remember having taught for 1 year chemistry in 1974-75, right? And therefore, that was one dimension of online learning, right? Now we have got various streams of online learning at this point of time. Now imagine a child learning music through his WhatsApp or through a mobile is also doing an online learning, but he may not be learning mathematics, physics, chemistry, right? That is what it is that. So the idea of online learning has already caught up over there, but the roadblocks to online learning still exist, because the teachers, the problem is that the children are able to cope with technology easily as against the teachers, right? So the question is increasing the confidence profile of the teachers and trying to accommodate them with technological skill is very, very important. The policy talks about 3 important dimensions. It talks about digital learning, it talks about blended learning, it talks about virtual laboratories and virtual classrooms. It has focused on artificial intelligence as integration. You may be surprised to see some places like Kumbakonam or Tanjore. I could see in a nursery class teachers using virtual reality and augmented intelligence to create an elephant or a circus, whatnot in the classroom as well as this. And if that could happen in one classroom, that would also happen in multiple classrooms, right? I'll just give you one more example. I visited a place where people are working for virtual reality. An inverter, right? The model of an inverter could be projected on the table of a student, and he could see what kind of a current is going, what kind of current is coming, and how the electrons are flowing around, the current is flowing around. Now, I could imagine that it could have happened. So, I think technology penetrates very, very fast, right? So, the role of a government, the role of a state is only facilitating changes, not controlling them. In spite of all the roadblocks we create, learning will penetrate directly, indirectly, right? Or any other method, it will go to the villages. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I think we are also seeing, sir, based on the webinars, we conduct polls with the teachers. We classify a few products and say necessity, comfort, and luxury. Internet, computer, tablets. 96% of the teachers unanimously have told this has become a necessity, and which is what will happen at rural. And once people see business opportunities, might be more people will come there, and we will bridge this gap faster. The next question, I think agriculture is the backbone. We talked about many things, agriculture and allied sciences. Does NEP offer anything by which right talent pursue agriculture and allied areas as a career option? Because this is not meant for many people, though there are some amazing careers waiting for students. What's your perspective on this?
As a matter of fact, if you look into the description and narratives given by the NEP in the higher education, it does open number of opportunities for not only agriculture but many of the allied industries with regard to the agriculture over there. we are moving towards two important dimensions of processing knowledge. One is convergence of knowledge, the other is called the divergence of knowledge, right? Now, at one point of time, we talked about agriculture as a subject. Today, we talk about agricultural mechanics, we talk about agroeconomics, right? And we talk about agrochemistry, right? Just like when I was a student of chemistry, I had only three subjects: physical chemistry, inorganic chemistry, organic. Today, there are 50 different phases of that. You understand? So we never thought of biology and mathematics being relevant to each other. Today, we talk about biomathematics, biomedical engineering, whatnot, right? Bioinformatics. So the point basically is the future is for what you call synthesis of knowledge, right? And therefore, when you talk about agriculture as a backbone, the opportunities that exist, like for example, horticulture, export of flowers, right? And food processing, right? And then what do you call, food manufacturing. So, I can give, number, but what is the problem? Even at school level, we had this kind of inputs, agriculture, horticulture, floriculture, all that. But we have a mindset. What is the mindset? That my child should become an engineer, right? Saying an engineer who cannot operate anything was much better than saying being a successful agriculture. I think these kind of mindsets have to be broken, and I think that's the way the social change has started happening. Right? People have accepted, and I think even this pandemic has brought many people back home, and they started feeling that they would be more comfortable doing their own domestic jobs. I think therefore, I think the policy provides enough scope for that.
Thank you. So, in fact, even in the world of careers, when we shoot videos, we've been researching content, botany, energy conservation, agriculture, all these things are giving immense opportunities. I think on the face of it, you might not even see those kind of opportunities exist.
Absolutely.
This opens up that kind of opportunity for the future students. What is one thing you would like to get added or changed, and why?
Very difficult because there are many things. But yes, one thing which I think that this policy should have taken adequate note of is that education is now a social activity, right? The quality of education has been enhanced largely by private sector, both at the school level and at the college level. Benchmarks for quality education have been established by the private sector as well as the corporates which are engaged in that. Therefore, a more liberal approach towards inclusive approach towards private and the corporate sector as effective enablers of education for this country, and promoting their role so that the efforts of the government are much more supported, and the government can continue to govern, and the private and the corporate people would get involved in the operatives. That would have been better. There are two dimensions to education. One is the business of education, and second is education for business. Right? The administrator should address to business of education, and probably diffusing a commercial dimension to that, and encouraging a social perspective to that. Therefore, a little liberal attitude would have been much more appreciated.
Thank you, Balasubramanian sir. It's always fantastic talking to you. When we start this session, we get energy. When we wind up, I think we are with more energy. That is what we have always felt. And sharing 50 years of your experience with us and going through the journey, you have seen all the things, and sharing your perspectives of immense benefit to us. I think all the audience who are going to see this video, wish you great health, wish you great success. We want you to be, as I used to tell, 27 years for your century. So we will wait for that, sir. Shekhar, with that, I think we can.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll just